Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting the like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Chris0427 and it says, girlfriend 27 female got a massive tattoo for me, 31 male. I've been with my girlfriend for almost a year. I've always made sure that she knew that I wanted to take things very slow and I didn't want anything too serious right now. I've only been divorced for a year and I have primary custody of my kids, 2 and 4. So they are and have always been my priority. I can't stress how clear I was about keeping our relationship casual. Anyways, I have a lot of tattoos. I won't pretend like they're all super meaningful, but most of the bigger pieces are related to my hobbies, friends, family, random shit I'm into. My girlfriend only had the tiniest tattoo on her ankle. I was away last week doing the Vegas bachelor party / road trip thing, and she texts me that she has a surprise for me and sends me a pic of the tattoo. It is a tree that starts at where ass meets leg. Oh, not sure I find that funny. Not sure of the name for that. And ending on the back of her neck. The branches have shitty tattoos that are copies of many of mine. A few in particular piss me off. One is a copy of a tattoo my buddies and I got done to commemorate a friend that died. Another is very similar to one of mine that was inspired by a drawing my kid did. I showed it to my friends and they all think she is fucking crazy. Her explanation is that she just liked my tattoos, so she wanted to get similar ones but in her own design. And she did it to honor me. She said she got it for me. She went to a shitty artist, so it looks pretty bad and the design isn't too great in itself, which I think defeats the purpose of honoring someone, and they mean literally nothing to her. Between her copying my tattoos and having a genuinely shitty tattoo covering her entire backside, I really don't find her sexy anymore. It is a huge mood killer. She was my quotes, dream girl in bed, so without that, there isn't much left. I'm starting to consider just breaking up with her because what she did seems so insane. On the other hand, we've been dating for almost a year and I'm really into her. And now she has this giant tattoo that's honoring me, so breaking up would suck. Opinions? I mean, this is just red flag central, isn't it? I mean, you've been together for a year, almost a year, not even a year yet. You mentioned in the first paragraph that you wanted to take things slow, you was explicit about it, you didn't want anything too seriously, and you can't stress how clear you was about keeping your relationship casual. So I would just love to know the thought process about when you go away that she goes to a tattoo parlor to get this giant tattoo of stuff that's really meaningful to you, like your son's picture, one commemorating a dead friend. You know, that's not honoring someone, that's crossing like massive boundaries. But Broke says she is crazy. That is so completely fucking insane. I would run far. If she got a tattoo to commemorate something special between you two, meh, but to copy your tattoos, batshit crazy. And ones that were so personal to a life before her. Opie says I haven't explained what they all mean to her, so she might not know the one tattoo is commemorating my friend, but still, it's pretty crazy, right? I swear I'm helping says it's even crazier that she doesn't even know the meaning of them. It's like she just wants to wear your skin. Ugh, that gave me shivers. Cat Chris says I had to check that I wasn't on no sleep. This made me shudder. OP run. Hold on to your skin. Another commenter says, did she do all of this off memory? 8 hours isn't a drunken tattoo mistake. Was this maybe planned? Did she take pictures of all your tattoos? It is weird that 1, her friends, and 2, the tattoo artist did not say anything. Opie says I'm guessing it's based off pictures. Newer or shitty artists don't seem to care what they tattoo as long as they get paid. Stephanie says she got a detailed butt to neck tattoo finished in one setting. I won't lie, I'm kind of impressed. She sounds nuts though, and you don't talk about any of her good qualities other than being your dream girl in bed, so dump away I guess. Opie replies saying, it's not done yet, but yeah, she sat there for 8 hours getting this shitty tattoo. She does have really good qualities, but I never saw her as a future wife material, you know? Another commenter says, if you never saw her as future wife material in the first place, then why is this even an issue? Just break up with her and move on. Why do you need the validation of strangers to convince you to do something it seems you already know what to do? Opie says 2 reasons. One is that despite not wanting to get married right away, I was still really into her, and this came out of left field. And the other is, if I do break up with her, she's probably going to feel pretty bad now that she has the giant tattoo on her back. Commenter says, as harsh as it may sound, the tattoo really isn't your problem. That was a crazy thing to do, and you are in no way responsible for all the negative fallout she will suffer because of it. And then someone says to OP to let his girlfriend live with a bad decision tattoo, and says, it would also give me peace of mind that someone out there doesn't have the same tribute tattoo my buddies and I have for a friend that passed. Granted, she removed the text, so it doesn't mean much without it, but still, I'd rather that not be on her. Yeah, I know OP said it isn't quite finished, but I was thinking about the timing of that tattoo as well. 8 hours, and it's a giant back tattoo with like smaller pictures on it as well. I was thinking, holy moly, this is I imagine there are some really fast artists out there, or maybe there was 2 people working on it, but I can't imagine the state of that thing. But personally, to me, it's giving me vibes that's going to be one rushed piece. But at some point later, OP does come in with her update and says first post was removed, but it was about how my girlfriend got a tattoo of a tree, and on the branches were copies of some of my tattoos. A couple that were very personal, memorial piece for a friend, and a drawing by my kid. I thought I had been very clear about not wanting anything serious. Quick update, we broke up. I tried to stick it out, but the tattoo was too much of a turn off, and I just didn't find her attractive anymore, which is the opposite of what she had intended with it. The breakup went about as expected. She completely lost it, and yes, she was mad because she thought it would lead to something more serious eventually. My artist agreed to finish the piece for her, and it will cover up the bits that match my tattoos. It should be very easy since there wasn't any shading yet. I'm glad she agreed to see him because now her tattoo has a chance of looking decent, and I can be certain that it will be properly covered up. I tried to get her to explain to me why she thought it was a good idea, but all she kept saying was that she truly believed I would like it, and she thought it would help move our relationship to the next level. I told her she should see a therapist. She told me to fuck off. So there you have it. I know it's not a funny issue in itself, but the thought of them facing each other and him saying, you need to see a therapist, and her immediate response is to fuck off does tickle me a little bit. But Nick Stuff says in quotes, I told her she should see a therapist and she told me to fuck off. And the commenter says, well, shit. Clearly the tattoo wasn't thought through very well. Now she has a permanent reminder to never do something that grand again without proper self and peer consultation. I think this worked out well for you. Opie says, hopefully she's learned. That was a big mistake to make. Retatron says, and a costly one I'm guessing. Opie says, I'm paying for the cover up. Figured it's the least I could do. Madame says, you must really care about tattoos looking not shitty. Kudos. Opie says, it's not so much that, although it does bother me. Her having the tattoo that my friends and I all have to commemorate our friend that died bothers me a lot. She got it for all the wrong reasons and didn't even know what it meant. I just want to know that it's covered up, and the kid's drawing one just creeps me out. Madame replies saying, did she know the meanings of them? Opie says, well, she knew that the drawing by my kids was what it was. It's obvious a 4-year-old drew it. She didn't copy that tattoo exactly, but used his same art style for a tattoo of her and her dog. I don't think she knew that the one was a memorial for my friend, but either way, it has a skateboard in it and she doesn't skate at all. Just weird that she copied it. One of the ones she copied is so stupid. I got it when I was 16 and think it's funny now because of how stupid it is, and now she has it on her. OP, when asked just how huge was that tattoo, OP says it went from arse to neck diagonally across her back. Just the outline because she only did one session. It included a memorial piece for a friend that died and a copy of my kid's drawing. It wasn't very well done either. And there were some comments talking about trying to trap him with the tattoo, and thinking about it, absolutely felt that way, like the manipulation, almost like as a romantic gesture. In some ways it might have been like he couldn't break up with her because now she's got this massive tattoo honoring him, so she can say to him, look what I did for you, how can you leave me? along with a lot of the personal tattoos at the same time. Bullet dodged in this situation. But what do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and it says, "Am I the arsehole for walking out on a double date my friend set up with him, his girlfriend, and a girl I'd already rejected before?" No, but let's find out. I feel like I need to say this for this post not to be removed. This is not about the date, about relationships, or something I want judgment on me walking out of there. Cast: me, 25 male, Joe, 26 male, Jane, 24 female. To give you a little background to this situation, I met Jane through Joe's girlfriend at her birthday party last year. At first, Jane was fun to talk to, but not even an hour later, Jane was really into me and tried really badly to hit on me during the party, which pretty much ruined my time there, as the feeling was not mutual in the slightest bit. Also, at the time, I was already with someone. So the first impression I got from Jane was that she was clingy, annoying, and just wouldn't stop bothering me. Unfortunately for me, she became part of my larger friend group because she is a part of Joe's girlfriend's friend group. That is a mouthful. Sheesh. And because me and Joe hang out a lot, and I am also friends with his girlfriend, I pretty much run into her at minimum twice a month. So first time Jane asked me out was a month after that party. I informed her I was with someone and not interested. She tried again 2 months later when I broke up with my then girlfriend. Again, I declined her advances and told her I was not interested. I got into a new relationship not long after, but unfortunately, she and I broke up about 2 months ago. Since then, as you might have anticipated, Jane has asked me out again. I said no again. Well, that brings us to this week. Everything has been opening up here, COVID lockdown times, and Joe had been trying to fix me up with a friend of his girlfriend and would not tell me who. He is well aware of me having rejected Jane multiple times and the fact that I am not interested in her. He knows this in detail. After a lot of what he calls convincing and I call whining, I had no interest in dating anytime soon. I relented and decided to agree to this double date idea of his. We agree on meeting at Joe's apartment, and lo and behold, Joe, his girlfriend, and Jane are occupying the dinner table, obviously intending for my date to be Jane. I honestly just got so goddamn angry that I couldn't even get a single word out. Turned around and left. I've been bombarded with texts and calls about how much of a douche I am and how terribly I hurt Jane and so on, and I'm just like, I literally rejected her like 3 times. I'm not interested in her. You knew that. Your girlfriend knew that. Our entire friend group has a running joke about obsessive Jane, for fuck's sake. So literally everyone knows it. So am I the arsehole? No, absolutely, I don't blame you for walking out in that situation at all. Your friend completely betrayed you there and set you up for an awful, uncomfortable situation. You've told Jane multiple times, made your feelings crystal clear, and they knew all of this, yet still tried to ambush you with this date, which is just absolutely awful and not something a friend would do to someone. And the fact that they're already calling her obsessive Jane is concerning in itself, but I can see where that's coming from. The fact that, she's been rejected multiple times yet has keep trying and will go on this date in the first place. Most people will be, back off after the first rejection, but she's on number 4 and people around her are enabling that kind of behavior. And either Jane's completely oblivious to her behavior, or she believes that she can wear him down. I just keep trying again and again, which both those situations are pretty shit and unsettling. But just let be says not the arsehole, but your friend obviously is. Setting someone up with someone who rejected that person is cruel, not the fact that you turned around. I would have honestly done the same. Opie says, I feel pretty shitty about it though, regardless of my opinion on Jane. That must have stung. Singery says not the arsehole. You've made your feelings more than clear to Jane and your friends as well. You had every right to leave, as you had already rejected her 3 times and still she set herself up for rejection number 4. You're not responsible for her hurt feelings at this point. Your friend should have known better than to blindside you with a date with someone he knows full well you have zero interest in. Though if I might venture a guess, I'd say that the double date was 100% Jane's and your friend's girlfriend's idea, and your friend most likely just got pressured into convincing you to come. Opie says, even so, he's one of my best friends. He shouldn't be screwing me over like that. Even if it was 100% their idea, I still blame Joe most. Jane Ann Larson says, don't mind the username, I'm totally on your side. If they were smart, they wouldn't have set that up. It's like they were hungry for control in someone's life and they took your love life as an easy target. Or Jane convinced them to do so despite well knowing your stance about all this, which definitely says something about how she would be in a relationship. I would be yelling too. What a bunch of arseholes, but you, sir, are not the arsehole. Opie says, God damn it, Jane, leave me alone. Nah, just kidding. I honestly do not know exactly what went through their heads to come to the decision that this was a brilliant idea. And I'm not sure whether I will find out, as I am honestly doubting whether I want to stay friends with them. After having more of a think and realizing that I am not really the arsehole, despite the fact that I felt guilty. I've seen one common theme in a lot of replies, and that is Jane's behavior is obsessive and stalkerish, and honestly, it is. They both know this too and decided to set me up with her anyway, which honestly leaves room for a slew of other issues. So there was a user called Snoo Chipmunks who says, and they gave basically a real long reply about Jane being a stalker and how it's unsettling and not right, and that will be relevant after the update. So the update came in 2 months later and said, it's been a little under 2 months and I've received quite a few requests to make an update over the past 9 or so weeks. Looking at you, Snoo Chipmunks. At first, I was going to make one a week or 3 ago, but I decided against it and instead chose to wait till I had some proper updates. But well, here goes. Then shares the link to the previous post. At any rate, like I said, here goes. It turns out that some of the more pessimistic of you were right. Jane was being obsessive and stalkerish, and it sort of all came tumbling down on her at that point. A week or so after I made my post, she decided to message me. But it came down to her not understanding why I wasn't showing an interest in her, and then refused to date her. I never showed interest in her beyond basic friendliness. A wall of text dedicated to trashing my previous relationships and calling them all sorts of names, specifically pointing out how I dated the wrong girls, and a weird rant about how everyone agreed me and her were meant to be, which just isn't the case. Like I said in my previous post, there is a running joke in our friend group about how weird she is. Now, you might think this is something that can be expected, something that just happens, an outlet for her of sorts, except she sent it from the wrong account. See, I'd become internet friends with a person in the past month or two. Me and her would game together, chat from time to time, you know, the usual organic internet friend situation. And the messages concerning our date were sent from this account. Turns out she had literally used this alias to infiltrate my internet friend group and keep tabs on me of sorts. Obviously, this freaked me the fuck out. I took screenshots of what she had sent me and afterwards blocked all accounts that I knew now she was using. I followed that up by sharing everything in our friend Discord and in our friend WhatsApp group, so everyone could see what resulted in her being kicked out from both. And I later got a call from Joe, full on apologetic, telling me he had no idea and he knew he shouldn't have done it, but that his girlfriend was being pressured by Jane. Turned out, Jane had literally been bitching at her for months to arrange something like this, and she finally caved. Again, creepy stuff. I told him that I needed some time as he really fucked me over big time, and I didn't trust him anymore as a result. While Jane has been shunned by all friends, she still contacted me twice. Once to apologize, which quickly turned into weird shit, where she started talking about us. She seemed convinced there is an us and I am interested, and another time just to curse at me. Both from random accounts. I'm not sure where to go from here, and I'm still pretty shook up. So then Snoo Chipmunks came in with another comment and said, I knew it. I told you she turned into a stalker, using a fake alias, and trying to keep tabs on you. I'm not surprised she did this. So Jane was bothering her friend for months. Then she badgered Joe into setting you guys up. So your friend Joe caved into his girlfriend, like she did to Jane. Jane is persistent when she wants something. She wants it, and she wants you. And she will stop at nothing to get it, by getting her best friend to set up that double date with you. It's accomplished. It took months to set up, but eventually she got what she wanted. Now, as for Joe, he has at least apologized to you, but it's your choice if you believe him or not, or if you accept it. But at least he acknowledges that he screwed up. But I don't blame you for not trusting him. It will take a long time for you to gain his trust back, but as long as he is with the girlfriend, I would not trust her. Now she calls and apologizes to you. I don't know on how to handle that one, but I'll be surprised if she did. This girl lives in a fantasy world. Just be careful and cut all contact. If she keeps getting the creepy stalker way, depending on where you live, tell her you'll get a protective order or a restraining order against her, and you would involve the cops. Be safe and watch your back. OP says they both apologized, like full-on long-ass apology via email. I'm taking my distance from them. Low contact. I don't think I want friends that fuck me over like that. As for a restraining order, I think it is pretty damn difficult to get one here. I'm not sure how I'd be able to deal with that situation, with the friends, because of the breaking of trust there. The apology comes across pretty hollow because of that. Simply because even if the girlfriend was being pressured, he knew OP had rejected Jane multiple times and still went along with it. You could take a step back and say, hold on, this is getting a bit fucking weird now. Especially when everyone around this situation seemed to know about how strange her behavior was becoming. And the scariest part of all this is that Jane was probably not done after this either. She was creating fake accounts to contact him. So I hope OP kept documenting everything, and I say take it to the authorities, but we all know the situation there, how hard it can be sometimes. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.